Aleppo, 1913. The bar of the Baron Hotel. British adventurer T.E. Lawrence of Arabia, was approached and offered a strange silver chalice like this one for sale. He turned it down. A year later, the British Museum bought it from a dealer in Jerusalem. Here are some other items unearthed along with it.
These pieces look like church objects, but they were first dinner party silver of the ultra-rich, and the inscriptions on them reveal something the modern church has almost entirely forgotten. It was a small village church in Roman Syria, sometime around 600 AD. 56 silver objects for sacred use, including lampstands, crosses, and 8 chalices, were hidden in the ground as Muslim armies from Arabia swept through the land. They were never retrieved. Christians abandoned them, fleeing the area after the Muslim conquests.
"1,300 years later, sometime around 1910, these sacred objects were rediscovered by archaeologists. It is called the Kaper Koraon Treasure hoard, named after the location in northern Syria where they were pulled out of the ground. Today, these silver vessels are scattered across the world, at the Walters Art Museum in Maryland, at the British Museum, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City.
Lawrence saw only a silver cup. The British Museum saw a Byzantine artifact.
Neither could have known that scratched into this metal was a clue to one of Christianity's deepest ideas.
These silver objects weren't made for a church. They were personal dining silver, the silverware of wealthy Roman households, donated to the Christian community. They were given to be placed upon the altar, handled by the priest, used in the most sacred activities they believed a human could do.
The inscriptions on chalices of the Kaper Koraon Treasure hoard are in Greek, and they say things like this: Prayer of Pelagius, sacred vessel of the Church of St. Sergius of the village Kaper Koraon, in fulfillment of a vow of Sergios and John, for the prayer and salvation of Theophilus's sons.
These aren't just donor plaques. These are people inscribing their names and prayers onto objects they're giving to God. They're doing something very specific and very ancient.
The inscriptions are strange. They aren't labels. They aren't ownership marks. They aren't memorials. They read more like prayers. And behind those prayers lies an understanding of worship so old that most Christians today no longer recognize it. What were these ancient people doing? In their world, a gift was never free. Patrons gave, clients received, and receiving meant owing something back. So were these elites bargaining with their creator, treating him like a petty pagan god, owing them a transactional response for their costly gift?
No. We have to gaze more deeply into the mystery. What they were doing was inscribing their world, their needs, their prayers, their hopes, into a far greater gift economy, the economy of God, the Eucharist, literally the good gift.
The Christian vision sees the whole world this way, in the light of Easter morning. In that light, the world hangs on the razor's edge of a vast transformation, one that refigures and releases all things into a newness as fresh as the first creation. Nothing good is lost there. Family, friendship, fidelity, concern, generosity, honor, obligation, longing, love. All becomes, in Christ, what it was meant to be from the beginning.
This is the meaning of the Eucharist.
The gift of a cup of precious metal. carried from one's own table to God's altar. It's a supreme expression of Christian hope in the transfiguration of all things. The most ordinary of all human rituals, eating food, is already finding its fullness in the sacred meal of the church. Etching yourself onto the cup was a sign of that belief. That's the golden thread.